has been 4 years since I uploaded a video to this channel. And if you're still subscribed, I think I still have like 2,000 subscribers. And you get this notification, you might be like, wow, what is going on? So welcome to the Taisha Jason channel. I'm not going to make any promises about how many more videos are going to go up. I would like to react a little bit more to what I'm watching, what I'm listening to, and this sort of was always the channel where I did media stuff, Blu-rays and TV shows and movies, which is what I'm about to do. So welcome back. It's been a while, and the reason I decided to do this is because here in Japan, today is Monday the 20th of December, 2021, and we got the new Matrix movie early. I think a few other countries in the world got it before it opens in America 2 days from now on Wednesday the 22nd. So I'm going to call this an early review, although if I'd really wanted it to be early, I guess I would have gone and seen it Friday night or Saturday, but I was busy this weekend. I'm now on vacation. If you don't know me and you just clicked on this randomly, I'm a teacher. I live in Japan, and not in any big city. I don't live in like Osaka or Tokyo, but I do have access to an IMAX theater. It takes me about a half an hour to get there in my car, and it's well worth the trip most of the time. The ticket can be a little expensive. I went during the day because most people are still at work and a lot of kids are still at school, but my school is on winter break already, so I didn't have to go to work today. Could go see the movie. There was about 25, maybe 30 people in there with me, which is not a lot, of course, but now I'm watching the movie in English with Japanese subtitles, so just about everybody in the theater except me is probably reading the movie, and I'm obviously listening and reacting to the English. So it's IMAX, it's 2D. I don't know if they released it 3D anywhere, but it was 2D. But it's just such a nice big screen, and the sound is so amazing. I do pay the extra. And then in Japan, at least at this IMAX theater, they have kind of 2 rows in sort of the sweet spot. Right in the middle, right, equidistant from the screen in the back of the theater, right where everything's hitting you right. And they charge extra, 300 yen premium upcharge for those 2 rows of seats. And the reason that it appeals to me and I pay that is because the seats are also wider. So let's say normally you'd have 10 seats across a row maybe in the center. Here there's only like 8, so you're getting extra centimeters. And so for me, since I'm fat, it helps me sit comfortably. And this movie, you need that. It is 2.5 hours long. So I think I paid 2,600 yen for my ticket, which is, if you do the kind of normal conversion, it's about $25 or something. So a little expensive, but again, I think it's worth it for big movies. The Bond movie that came out a little while ago. Of course, Dune was magnificent there. And coming up, Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man's already come out in America, and I've been sort of desperately trying to avoid spoilers for it. But it doesn't come out here until January the 7th. So that's the opposite. Every now and then we get a movie early. That's more rare. But more often than not, we get a movie a little bit later. And sometimes it makes, I have no idea why. For a while, West Side Story, the new Steven Spielberg movie, was scheduled to open the same time as everywhere else on December 10th. And I have posters that say, December 10th on it. And then they just, out of the blue, they kicked it to February. And it's going to come out Valentine's Day weekend. I don't know if they're going to do some kind of marketing thing where they're going to kind of push it as a romance, like Take Your Girlfriend. But yeah, it won't open here, and so I won't get to see that until the middle of February. And there are times like that, which is really disappointing. But let's get down to the Matrix. So as I walked into the IMAX theater today, they sometimes give you a little something because you spent the extra money. So here's the little IMAX Matrix Resurrections poster. Not too big or anything too special. They used to give you, I'm on my Mac, so I can't kind of tilt up, but they used to give you these nice slightly larger, like really nice artwork. I have one for Logan up here on my wall. That's kind of my movie room back there. I have a few back there. So when I go to the theaters, I also buy merch. They sell a lot of like Matrix stuff. Um, so I actually got both versions. This is called a pamphlet. It's a Japanese way of saying pamphlet. And ooh, it's getting all reflecty. Um, and all it is really is just kind of like a souvenir booklet. Let's see if I can find with, like, it goes over the old movies, brings you up to date, character bios, a lot of pictures, obviously. You get a director interview. Now, everything's in Japanese, which is not surprising. But review of the effects, kind of like how everybody connects together. And I bought both versions. This is like the limited version, and they sell out of these. Oh, this way. um, and this just has more stuff in it. Something about the Animatrix, which is kind of cool, and breakdown of that in the back. If you've never seen the Animatrix, you really owe it to yourself to check that out. And some of the same content as the other, but I think kind of a throwback. You get this kind of stuff that might have been in the Matrix one when it originally came out years and years ago. So, but there is different pictures in this one, and sometimes it's literally really cool character shots. Sometimes it's literally just a different cover, and that's kind of disappointing, because then it's like, well, do I really want to buy, because these are about 800 yen, so they're about $8, but they're really nice, sturdy, well made booklets. And I have been collecting these now. I've lived in Japan since 2004, and I probably have every big movie that's come out since 2004. I have one of these, and I guess eventually I'm going to maybe have them in America as like in my library, or that's just so kick-ass. I will sell them maybe on eBay or something when I move back to America and I can't get a job and I need money, something like that. I'll show you some more merch in a minute. Let's just jump in to the review. So, what did I think of the film? Well, like I said, it's 2.5 hours long. It feels it. So you got to be kind of prepared for that. And I think there's really kind of two kind of Matrix fans. There's the Matrix fans that are really into all the lore, the philosophy of it, all the deep kind of stuff that you can think about when you watch that first movie and the two sequels, which obviously weren't as good. What is it? Revolutions and Reloaded. But that first movie is just so amazing, and it's so mind-blowing to me to think that that was 1999, so we're talking, over 20 years ago now. The cool thing about this, of course, is they did bring back all the original, cast members that were relevant to what they were trying to do in this movie. You've got Keanu Reeves back, of course, Carrie-Anne Moss as Tiffany or Trinity. And you've got the original director, Wachowski. She goes by Lana now. And, I don't want to give away. I won't do any spoilers, real big spoilers. But, I mean, if you've seen the trailers, they've got an actor playing Morpheus, and you find out, like, how that works. And there are some nice nods to the original. So if you're a fan, I think you'll find a lot to kind of digest and ingest and talk about with your other friends online or in your life that are big Matrix fans. For the more casual fan, maybe you just liked the effects, you just thought it was a cool movie, great action and everything. You get a lot of that in this movie. I will say, though, that it's kind of hard because the Matrix, especially if you were alive back then or old enough to go see an R-rated movie in 1999, it had such an impact, and it was so then widely copied, the bullet time effect and some of the groundbreaking special effects and just the look and the feel of the movie and the way they the music, and it was just so mind-blowing. It came out of nowhere. I mean, nobody nobody knew what to expect. Of course, the Wachowskis had only done one sort of indie movie before that called Bound, which is a good little thriller, but who knew that they had this movie inside them? Anyway, so you've seen some of this stuff before, I guess is what I'm saying. Keanu Reeves can do kung fu, movie kung fu. They're going to have scenes with that. They're great at practical effects. There's an amazing motorcycle, chase scene. There's, and it's hard. The blending of the CGI and the practical, and, they're jumping over buildings and all the stuff they've done in the other movies, going through mirrors. And then, of course, they get into the real world, that's not the Matrix. And, they've got that ship that hovers and the things with the tentacles that come after you and all that kind of stuff. So it's obviously an effects-heavy movie. But it's hard for them to maybe come up with something where you're like, wow, that's really cool. Or how did they do that? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I think we're so used to really good special effects now in the Marvel movies, in the Star Wars films, Lord of the Rings, all these movies that have come out now since 1999. It would be hard for them to really top themselves, is what I'm saying. So I wouldn't say that there was any one moment where I went, wow, geez, or, whatever. So they really had to rely more on character and the story they were telling. And it's tough because they want to justify making a fourth movie when nobody was kind of really asking for one. I think maybe they want this movie to be kind of the cap to the whole thing, so it's not such the bad taste left in people's mouth by number 2 and number 3 when those came out in like 2002, 2003, whenever they came out. So, and I think that movie largely does that. If you go in with kind of lower expectations, like this movie is not going to blow me away. I don't expect it to like reinvent my life. I think you'll have a good time, especially if you're a fan of the original film. Yeah, I guess that's not a glowing review, is it? I think I want to see it one more time. I have a local theater that's only like 5 minutes from my house, and they have a nice big screen and everything. So I think I'm going to go sometime this week maybe. There's not a lot coming out here for me to see during my winter holiday from school. I think we get The Kingsman is like the only other Hollywood movie we get. But anyway, so I think I am going to go see it again because there's a lot of talking in some scenes about, this type of programming, and he's in a modal, and how do they resurrect the code and blah, 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 and this and that. And some of that kind of, goes over your head a little bit. Or maybe you need a second viewing and you're just kind of looking at the eye candy. And, Keanu's great. He kind of comes at it. It's interesting the way he approaches his character in this one. Carrie-Anne Moss is fantastic. Some of the new cast members are very good. I should know their names. Let's see if I can tell you who they are. Let's see. The guy who plays Morpheus is very good. Jonathan Groff, of course, from Hamilton. That's the way I know him. He's very good as sort of Agent Smith, as it were. Yahya Abdul-Mateen is the guy who sort of plays Morpheus, and you'll see how that works out. And then, how could they not have her in like the very first? The girl who played, here she is. Jessica Henwick as Bugs is probably the standout for me. Very, very good. Neil Patrick Harris is good in it. Yeah. There is a little bit of it being a little woke. Is that the right term? Am I even using that right? I'm old. Forgive me if I'm not. The captain of the ship is now a woman, but could she be trans? Could she be a lesbian? I don't know. It's not important. So maybe that's the point they're making. Like, she could be. Doesn't matter, though, because it doesn't impact the film. There's a spoiler I can't get into, which, is another kind of like thing that they do with the movie. And of course, there's just moments, you just have to see it, and you'll know what I'm talking about. There's a moment between Neil Patrick Harris and one of the female characters, and he's kind of saying misogynistic things, and she takes him to task for that and things like that. I don't have a problem with that. If you want to inject a little bit of that into your movie, as long as that's not what your whole movie becomes about, I don't have a problem with that. Lana Wachowski, obviously herself, is transgender. So, she wanted some representation perhaps, or to get across some of her ideas and stuff in that way. And I'm fine with that, because I don't think they did anything to betray the core characters. And I don't think they made a movie that hardcore fans are going to dislike. I just don't think it's going to be everybody's favorite. And I think it's opening against the second weekend in America of Spider-Man. And my guess is it won't even outperform Spider-Man. Spider-Man in its second weekend will probably do more money than Matrix. But Matrix is also rated R in America, I believe. So, it has a much more limited audience than Spider-Man, which is PG or PG-13. And so, yeah, I give it a thumbs up. Like I said, I probably will see it a second time. And, I feel like I need to now go back. I kind of resisted rewatching. I've seen The Matrix. I rewatch The Matrix 1 all the time. That one's in my Blu-ray player all the time. But I haven't rewatched Matrix 2 and 3 in probably 7 or 8 years. And I feel like I probably should do that now, maybe, and then go rewatch this new one. And I don't know, though, that you need to do that. I think you can just go to this movie if you know the basics. And there are some flashbacks and little things like, Neo thinks he sees something and it reminds him of a scene, and they cut to a piece from the other films. So you wouldn't be totally lost if you hadn't seen the other Matrix movies, but you would be kind of lost. And so definitely rewatch 1 maybe if it's been a really long time. But anyway, so here in Japan, we got to see a movie early. Yay! Doesn't happen too often. So what else did I buy? I bought these things called clear files. So these I use at my school. I give them away to students sometimes, or I use them for my own papers. So it's literally just like a little plastic folder that you keep your papers in. So this one is the newest movie, obviously, and just, nothing too spectacular about that. The red and the blue pill, very important in the film, very important in the lore. And then they actually went back and redid some of the ones from the original films, the original 3 films. So this is the Matrix clear file set, and it's got 2 in here. And as you can see, some cool pictures of the original cast, and this one is the other one. There's 2. This one has some awesome pictures on the back too. So I went ahead and bought those, and those will probably be for me. So, it'll be like, 7th period English class, and this is where I'll keep my papers for that. And some of them, like I said, I give away to students as prizes and things like that. But anyway, so I had a fun time at the movies. It was, though, it felt it's 2.5 hours. So make sure you have a good drink or a nice popcorn or something to keep you company. And but like I said, I'm intrigued enough. I enjoyed it enough. I feel like some of it I want to maybe have another pass at, so I'm probably going to go see it again, which I haven't done a lot since the pandemic started. Most of the movies I've seen once was enough. I haven't really seen a really great movie in a while, and so I was really looking forward to this, and it didn't disappoint, but like I said, it didn't blow me away either. All right, so that's 20 minutes. Thanks, guys. Maybe some more stuff in the new year. I'll try to come back on the channel from time to time and give you my thoughts. And definitely I should talk, you can see the Beatles poster about the big Apple Plus series and some other stuff that's, near and dear to me as a music fan, as a Beatles fan. So more soon, hopefully. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment if you'd like. See ya.